What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Into the Square Circle podcast. Yes, I'm your host, GB. And if you're a follower of the show, and if you're a new follower, welcome. And this is post AEW Revolution pay-per-view episode of Into the Square Circle podcast. Yeah, I look like shit. I'm not wearing nice clothes here. Yeah, I'm not in front of this screen with a microphone. Yeah, it's after hours. I'm not getting paid extra here. That's okay. For the love of wrestling, it was a great, memorable pay-per-view. If you follow me on Twitter or X or Facebook, Instagram, Into the Square Circle podcast, hit the like, hit the follow. Post. I got the post out there right now. And right now I do have a Twitter or X, an X poll right now. Excuse me. And right now, we are standing at 90% of you guys did enjoy the pay-per-view, while I think 10%. I'm now blowing smoke. I'm faking numbers here. Okay, now we go. Let's take a look. Here we go. 90% of you guys said it was a great pay-per-view. 10% of you guys said it was okay. So, you still have time. Got about 23 hours left. That's why I'm getting this video done. Audio done. It's going to be part of the podcast. A little early, of course. So, you still have the time. You still have time to vote. I did put a post up on Facebook and the Instagram Into the Square Circle podcast. Rate the pay-per-view, man, between 1 to 10. I'm a fan. You're a fan. Come on, man. Join the conversation. But what a pay-per-view. And Sting had his last match. What emotional intro. And I said that in my previous prediction. If you haven't watched it, go check that out. I said about Sting, I'm more excited for his entrance, and I just feel goosebumps. And man, I did not have a tear. My grown man was crying. Hey, and they show a guy who was bawling his eyes out in the front row. But you know what, man? Cheers to Sting, man. Cheers. Decades, man. Entertaining our asses. Millions of peoples around the world. From the bottom of my heart, I doubt he'll be watching this video or listening to this podcast, but thank you, Sting. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. As a fan, longtime fan, and this is it, man. And off to retirement. Off to the golf course. All right, so enough of me blabbering. Let's talk about AEW Revolution that went down just not that while ago. So it's almost Monday, early Monday morning, March 4th. Maybe some of you people will see this video, some may not. But before I continue on, if you're watching this video, hit the subscribe, I can't speak. Hit the like. As I mentioned, Facebook, X, Instagram, Into the Square Circle podcast. Also, follow me on Podcast Land. You know where I go to. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow today. Also, follow me at patreon.com/Into the Square Circle podcast. $1.99 a month. You will be part of the executive control seat. That's right, folks. You'll be part of the show. You take control of the bonus content on Patreon. $1.99 a month. You can talk about whatever you want, how long as you want. And yet better, your name will be featured in the credits of the YouTube show and featured on the credits on the podcast. $1.99. You can't beat it. So, there we go. All right, we got the commercial breaks out of the way. Let's talk about AEW Revolution. So, let's start off with the pre-show, which was featured on YouTube. It was great to see David Crockett, of course, alongside with Tony Schiavone, inside the hollow halls of the Greensboro Coliseum, right? The legendary venue, just like Madison Square Garden, Allstate Arena, just legendary hollow halls of pro wrestling. Especially the Mid-South Coliseums, those old-school territory buildings. So the pre-show match we had with the Bang Bang Singster Gang, right? Max Caster, that poor bastard screwed up his rap the second time. The second time Max Caster screwed up his rap. God damn it, Max. Anthony Bowens, Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, Jay White. Let's just get right into it. They defeated Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, Willie Mack, and Private private party. Man, what a match, right? Great way to kick off the pre-show match, of course. The Bang Bang Scissor Game, great chemistry between the Bullet Club Load and the Acclaim. As always, they were phenomenal, of course. It was a great match, and there's nothing else to say about it. It was a 12-minute and 25-second match. So right after the match, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang decided to celebrate. And at the very end, Jay White teased that, stay tuned, guys. There's some big business going down on March 13th. Now, if you remember, March 13th is the AEW Dynamite special called Big Business. We don't know what's going to go down in 2 weeks. Well, it's almost Monday, so I guess a week from this coming Wednesday. So, who knows what Jay White have up his sleeve? Will we get Tama Tonga? Who knows, man? But it was a great pre-show match to get the crowd warm up. All right, up next, we had Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale defeated Julia Hart and Sky Blue, Chicago's very own Sky Blue. And you know what, man? It was a solid women's match. 13 minutes and 30 seconds match. It was a little bit, about a minute longer than the men's pre-show match. So I thought it was pretty good. Willow Nightingale had a great chemistry with Chris Statlander. Nothing to complain about this, man. It was, again, another great pre-show match. All right, so the show kicks off. The pay-per-view kicks off. The pyro comes on. You know, the warning signs. Do not pirate this pay-per-view or by federal law. And I hope you're not doing that. Okay, so the show kicks off with Christian Cage. He ends up defeating Daniel Garcia. It was a pretty solid match, of course. I didn't catch most of the match because I was having issues connecting to the pay-per-view. So by the time I got on there, Christian Cage won. And I was pretty pissed off that I missed out half the match. But I saw some of the highlights online. Daniel Garcia was strutting his junk over Christian Cage. And then I saw where Christian Cage was ready to do the Daniel Garcia's, hip toss, and he decided to flex his guns instead. But as I mentioned in my previews and prediction, Christian Cage will somehow manage to sliver his way out. And that's what happened. Christian Cage managed to sliver his way out and retain the TNT title. So a 16-minute and 50-second match if you get Rad's ass on time. All right, up next. This was a great match. It was a great match. I got to say, this was the first great match on the show. This is for the singles match for the Continental Crown Champion. AEW Continental Crown Champion, Ring of Honor Champion, and New Japan Strong Champion. Eddie Kingston will put his title on the line against Bryan Danielson. Now, if Bryan Danielson lose, he has to shake the hand of Eddie Kingston. Now, if Eddie Kingston lose, he will lose all the titles. 19 minutes and 45-second match. It was a great match. As I talked about this in my previous prediction, it's going to be a slop-a-dagger. It's going to be a lot of slaps, a lot of chops, and that's what happened, man. Kingston, Danielson would add it. Just slapped across the chest. Danielson breaking out his technical moves, his arm bars. A lot of close calls where you thought Eddie Kingston was this close from losing the titles. Man, what a match. This was a brutal match, and I highly recommend it. One of the matches I recommend, if you haven't seen the pay-per-view, check this match out if you're a fan of, compared to Kingston versus Ishii, or Danielson versus Jun Akiyama, which we saw a couple weeks ago. If you've seen those matches, put those together and put in a sandwich, and you have a great match. So, a phenomenal match. If I gave it between 1 to 5 stars, I'd probably get 4.5. It was good. It was a really good match. All right, up next, Wardlow. I said this. I told you guys Wardlow will win. Wardlow won the All-Star Scramble match because this match was a damn scramble match. Holy shit, this match was like scrambling eggs, and I can't even cook. Man, this thing was all over the damn pot. Jericho was in it. And also we got Powerhouse Hobbs. Lance Archer, Brian Keith, we had all the big guys, right? I thought Magnus, first time hearing this guy, Magnus, I thought he was part of the Trojan Condom Company. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. Magnus, I thought he was a highlight in the match. Dante Martin. So, yeah, a couple smaller guys in the match. But a lot of the big guys are beating the crap out of each other. A lot of meat slapping in the match. I thought I had my cat around here. But, yeah, man, just a lot of meat slapping, man. And I'm not talking about your lower regions. I'm talking about big guys with big muscles beating the crap out of each other. I thought Wardlow was impressive. I thought Powerhouse was great. Lance Archer doing the snake eyes like The Undertaker. You know, the walking on the ropes. I thought that was pretty good. Brian Cage was in fun now. I think we're Wardlow did like a hurricanrana. A big mofo doing a hurricanrana in the ring. But it was a great match. But Wardlow won. I said it from the start. It'll make sense. Now he's going to come after possibly Samoa Joe. Again, whoever won this All-Star Scramble match will get an AEW Future World Championship shot. So Wardlow has a future date with Samoa Joe. By the way, could it be next month in St. Louis? So AEW has announced that they're going to have a first-time ever AEW Dynasty, the next and new pay-per-view going down, I believe, April 21st. I'll put the graphic up. Down in St. Louis. Oh, you're teasing me. That's about a 4-hour drive. Should I go? But yeah, man. AEW Dynasty, the brand spanking new pay-per-view going down in St. Louis next month. Maybe we'll get Wardlow versus Samoa Joe at Dynasty. We have to wait and see this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, of course. But overall, this All-Star Scramble match was... it was something. It was something else. But 15 minutes and 45-second match. It was okay. Okay. So Roderick Strong. I can't believe this happened. Roderick Strong defeated Orange Cassidy by pinfall to become the new AEW International Champion. Now, I said Orange was going to win. I said it. And they've been teased in the past couple of weeks. Man, Orange Cassidy's beat up. He is hurt. Trainers like, don't do it, man. But we're going to clear it. And, of course, right at the pre-show, they show him, Orange Cassidy, backstage. And the trainer was like, man, we're going to tape you up. I would not recommend going out there. Orange is like, I'll go out there. And he told the Best Friends crew, stay backstage. I don't need your help. I will go out there and defend the title. And Orange did it, man. He went out there. He did the best he can, but he was all taped up in the back and the front and the ribs, all beat up. And, man, what a match. Orange Cassidy did what he can. A lot of orange punches. Roderick Strong was phenomenal. 12-minute and 45-second match, but Roderick Strong did it. He defeated Orange Cassidy to become the new AEW International Champion. So how about that, man? So we got a brand spanking new champion. And looking at the list here. So after that match, out of nowhere, Kyle O'Reilly showed up at the very end of the match. And now he's having a stare down with the Undisputed Kingdom, or whatever the hell the group's name is. He had a stare down with Roderick Strong. And fans are like, oh shit, O'Reilly's back. So there was like an awkward moment, and then they both hugged in the middle of the ring. And next do you know, Roderick Strong grabbed one of the faction t-shirts, the Undisputed Kingdom, and he tossed it to Kyle O'Reilly. And he's like, okay, man, we hugged it out. Join us, man. Put the shirt on. And Kyle O'Reilly was ready to put the shirt on, but he stopped himself. He put the shirt down. He whispered something to the ear of of Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly walked out. And fans were like, ooh, what's happening here? He's not joining with his buddy? So we'll have to wait and see how this will play out this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. So it's good to see Kyle O'Reilly returning. And we'll have to wait and see what's going to go down in here. All right, this match. This was a great, phenomenal tag team match. The tag team match is nothing on the line. It was a bragging rights match. The Blackpool Combat Club Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Now, if you watch the pay-per-view, you saw that Moxley and Claudio came out the Legion of Doom pads, right? With the spiky pads. You know, the Road Warriors used to come out with the pads with the spikes at their entrance. Well, that's what they wore coming out to the crowd. You know, like little history homage to the Greensboro Coliseum. So I thought that was pretty cool. So they came out, and then out comes North Carolina's very own FTR, who had a massive pop, massive reaction. Fans were just excited to see him. Hometown boys, or home state boys. So FTR came out. Man, what a match. These guys were phenomenal. There was a spot in the match, in this tag team match, where I believe Claudio threw Cash over the ropes. And the way he threw him over the ropes, Dak's arm ricocheted from the apron of the side of the ring, which you know, and a lot of people know, you know, the outside side of the ring is the hardest part of the ring. And Cash, I'm getting the names wrong. Was that Cash or Dax? Yeah, Cash forearm ricocheted with the side of the ring. And I'm like, oh shit. And they did a replay, and they did a slow motion. And this is the ring, this is his arm, and just the way he hit it. I'm like, fuck, man, you can break his forearm. I'm like, holy shit. You could tell he was in pain laying on the outside of the ring. Eventually, Cash got up and got things moving. Dax Harwood, man, he was busted up. I thought Jon Moxley was going to be the first one to bleed. Actually, Dax was the first one to bleed. His face was bloody like Austin versus Hart at WrestleMania 13 when he was in the sharpshooter. All the blood coming on his face. Man, it was brutal. This match was brutal. These guys beat the living hell out of each other. You know, the FTR brought out the Dream Machine to finish a move on Claudio Moxley. That fell short. But, man, FTR was this short from winning. And it just slipped on by. The Blackpool Combat Club defeated FTR in their home state. Impressive. Wow. This match was great. And if I gave it between 1 to 5 stars, I'd probably get this easily a 5-star match. This was a great tag team match. Any FTR match is great. And you know, I'm not blowing smoke, man. This is, I talk about it each and every episode. I'm a huge FTR fan, so I'm a big fan of FTR. And wow. Great match. Okay. Up next, the singles match for the AEW World Women's Championship match between Timeless Toni Storm, will put her title on the line, and yes, she defeated Deonna Purrazzo. Wow. It was a great match, man. Both women beat the crap out of each other. 12-minute and 15 seconds match. You know, Toni Storm. So I like the entrance. The entrance were they were talking about in the promotional videos before the match. Deonna Purrazzo was like, I want the old Toni Storm. We don't want the timeless one, the black and white from the 1960s, 1950s. We don't want that Toni Storm. We want the classic, the original Toni Storm. And the music played. The original Toni Storm music theme song play. I'm like, oh shit, she's going to come out as normal Toni Storm. And out comes, you thought from the distance it was her, blonde. You had the black football line on the eye, the hat backwards like me. She had the glasses on. And then when they had the close-up, it was Mariah May dressed up like the old school Toni Storm. Then the timeless Toni Storm came out, kind of swerved everybody. But man, it was a great women's match. I got to say, they did a great job. Toni Storm was phenomenal. Deonna was great, but I talked about in my previews and prediction, Toni Storm is going to manage to walk out and retain. So, great match. All right, let's talk about this fucking match. I put this on my X during this match or after the match. Holy shit, what a match. Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita. Fuck, man, I gotta get a drink for this, man. What a match. According to Wikipedia, so I'm looking at Wikipedia to check on times, according to them, it's 22 minutes exact. I didn't care, man. I watched this live. And I'm like, holy shit, these guys counter after counter. So, what I'm going to say about this, between Ospreay and Takeshita, holy shit, I'm surprised nobody got paralyzed in this match. And don't take this in the wrong way. But the way, the moves these guys were doing in the ring, dropping each other on the head, and man, I tell you what, Takeshita, when he did a German suplex in Ospreay, holy shit, that was picture perfect, man. I mean, you can't make that crap up. I mean, AI can't make that crap up. That was so good. The way he arches picking up Ospreay, man, it looked hurt. It made my neck hurt. That's how good that German suplex was. Takeshita did. I can't break it down, this match, because it was so damn good. It was all over the damn place. There was a lot of counters, a lot of insane moves, a lot of shit. I thought these guys would kill each other. I mean, this is 2024. This is March. This is potential one of the many matches of the year. I'll be honest. This was a potential match of the year. This is only March. We still got the rest of the year from all the wrestling companies, right? So this match was really, really good. And if you're a fan of that style wrestling, okay, I'm telling you guys right now, if you're a guy who loves to watch old school 80s wrestling, this may not be in your area unless you like this style. Now, if you're a fan of modern wrestling that's fast-paced, risky moves, insane shit, this match is for you. I highly recommend, if you're a fan of this style, strong style, New Japan style, fucking break your neck style, whatever style it is, hardcore style, I recommend it. Go back and watch this match. 5-star, baby, 5-star. I'm not going to be Meltzer and give you fucking 13 stars, Ricochet. No. It's a 1 to 5. I'll give it a 5, man. It was a great match, man. Man, I was sweating. My eyeballs were sweating, man. Holy shit, man. I was ready to do a somersault off my bed. And I was in my bedroom watching it. I was ready to do a somersault. My wife was asking, what the hell are you doing? This is like, babe, this match is so good. There was a spot in the match where Takeshita did either a suplex or I don't know what the hell it was, like a bomb. Takeshita picked him up and drops him right on the turnbuckles. And that shit looked like it hurt. And Ospreay was like, fuck, pointing at his back, telling the ref. And when the camera had the close-up of Ospreay's back, you can see the bruise like right on this, like the fucking ass cheek and his back. Oh my God, man. He probably just like bruised a muscle, man. Holy shit. But Will Ospreay defeated Takeshita. Of course, both guys paid respect to each other, shook hands, and we finally had Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher in the ring, eye to eye, hugging each other. And they're going to have a match on Dynamite next Wednesday. So, mind-blowing. Great match. Okay. 2 more matches to go, folks. Samoa Joe. We're going to just get right into it. Samoa Joe defeated Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland in a 3-way match for 19 minutes and 40-second match. Again, another slobber knocker. I'm thinking, how could this championship match outbeat the Ospreay and Takeshita? I mean, the bar is really high. I mean, it's already through the ceiling. This match is going to have to fucking outbeat it. Like, how can you top that? And but either way, they did a great job. Samoa Joe starts off the match. Again, Samoa Joe was working smarter. The Strickland and Adam Page was working harder. You know what I'm saying? They were going after Samoa Joe, and Joe was smart as a veteran. He was bypassing, letting these guys beat the shit out of each other. Eventually, all of that caught up on Joe, where Joe got slowed down. He got taken out by both guys. It was a lot of back and forth. It was a great match, but the key story in this match were Hangman Adam Page was focused on Swerve because he was trying to take his disadvantage. Hangman Page's goal was to slow down Swerve Strickland and try to avoid him pinning Samoa Joe to become the world champion. That was Hangman Adam Page's goal. He didn't give a shit if he won or not. I think his goal was to stop Swerve from winning the title. I think that was his goal. Because throughout the match, his eyes was on Swerve the whole time. There was a point where Paul Turner was in the match, and Swerve was pinning Samoa Joe. 1, 2. Adam Hangman Page grabbed Paul Turner, the referee, yanked him out of the ring, and Paul Turner, man, he got yanked so hard. He pulled out of the ring, and it looked like his fucking head hit the floor outside the ring. Like, damn, a ref took a massive bump in the match. So, okay, now we're out of a referee. So, I guess Adam Hangman Page grabbed the title belt. No referee. What you do? Go in the ring and take out everybody with the title belt. So, he got in the ring. He took out Swerve. And then he took out Samoa Joe. He pinned Samoa Joe. There was no referee. Duh, dipshit, because you took the referee out yourself. So out comes Bryce Remsburg, the second referee. So there's 2 referees. The second referee comes out. 1, 2, Samoa Joe kicked out. Shit. All right, what we're going to do? So these guys beat the living crap out of each other, all 3 of them. Long story short, eventually Paul Turner got unconscious, got in the ring, and eventually Swerve, we thought he had it, and no, gone. Hangman Adam Page, gone. But what happened was eventually Samoa Joe got unconscious, got full control, put the coquina clutch, I believe that was or some kind of arm bar. I think it was coquina clutch on Hangman Adam Page. Swerve was in the corner of the ring. Like, he's trying so hard to get back up. And Paul Turner gets up, grabs Adam Hangman, or I think Adam Hangman Page tapped out. He tapped out. The bell rings as Samoa Joe retains. And I said it. I want, in my heart, baby, in my heart, I wanted Swerve Strickland to win. But I knew Samoa Joe was going to retain. And, man, Swerve was pissed off. He looked like he was ready to cry. Yeah, that son of a bitch, Adam Hangman Page tapped. He tapped. That's the reason why he tapped, to make this match not only end, but also not try to be unconscious from this coquina clutch. But he tapped because he knew Swerve lost his chance of getting the title as well. So, brilliant. Great match. If I gave this match, probably a 4-star match. Great match. All right, here we go, folks. The main event. The Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, came out, and they had the fancy robe on. They think they're big shit top executive who got hot tubs and fake cigars and the hot tub in the top of the last room of the penthouse at a giant hotel in downtown Charlotte. These guys think they're the shits. I thought it was funny where the Young Bucks did the pose. And when they used to do the pose, they usually have money or confetti flying everywhere. Instead of that, they had business cards. They had business cards, which was great. The Young Bucks came out. The Greensboro Coliseum was booing the living hell out of them, as expected. So out comes Sting and Darby Allin. So Darby Allin came out. Great crowd reaction. And the announcer was like, "That's Darby Allin." And the lights go out. Okay, here we go. Sting's final match. Here we go. This is it. The final entrance we'll ever see on television. So, what happened? Well, they played a video, and I shared it. I think I shared it. This is my personal Facebook page, but they had a nice video package, and it was really good. It was very emotional. It was at an old school movie theater. Sting walks in his movie theater. He sits down and he watched this, flick. There's this movie inside the movie theater. And he's sitting by himself in a seat. And they were playing the whole history of Sting. Now, that's the shitty part about WWE. They own all the catalogs. They own all the catalogs. They own all the Jim Crockett, NWAs, WCW catalog. They have all the good shit. They have all the good stuff. WWE has it in their vault. That's the bad part. The only thing AEW could have done was get Japanese tapes, right? Permission to get Japanese tapes. And they did that with somebody else. I think Jericho, where he was wrestling in Japan and CMLL. But it sucks that all these legends who want to retire outside the WWE, they can't get all their moments back because WWE has them. That's the shitty part. But there's the good part. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, right? Pro Wrestling Illustrated. This legendary magazine, right? I discussed this on my last episode, the last episode I did, right? Pro Wrestling Illustrated. They have all the photos. They have all the archives. So WWE can't do shit about that. That was pretty smart on AEW. Taking all the snapshots from WCW. They're taking all the snapshots from the Jim Crockett promotions with Flair. A lot of footage from Japan, of course. When Surfer Sting was in Japan. So there's I believe that was what? No, it's probably a different WCW. I know Dark Side of the Ring did a Japan WCW. It's probably a different show in Japan, but either way, they did the best they can to just gather the whole career of Sting in one video. And either way, it was still emotional. And you know what, man? It was a hell of a presentation. So after the video, the movie flick was done, Sting was sitting there and he had tears around his eyes, and he looked at the camera. He said, "It's showtime. One last time. Let's do this." And the crowd's like, "Yeah!" So they played the AEW version of Sting's theme song. And I told you this, that the entrance is the most important thing that's going to be back in your mind. And they did it great, man. They did it right. And what's the cool part is Sting's sons, his two sons were part of the entrance. One of his sons was dressed up like Surfer Sting with the bleach blonde hair and, the face paint. And his other son had the long hair and the Wolfpack red face paint, which you can follow me on my X and Facebook and Instagram. I posted a photo. I still have that original shirt. I posted up there, the NWO red face paint Sting. I still have that shirt. I posted on my socials. But his other son dressed like him. And then the AEW Sting theme song ended. And next thing you know, the intro of Seek and Destroy Metallica. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is perfect. And out comes Sting with Metallica Seek and Destroy. Holy shit. And here is Sting hugging his sons, dressing like his history, like him in the past, walking down the ring with Darby Allin. What a moment. So the match kicks off. And Darby Allin, he hot shots. The Young Bucks were standing outside of the ring in front of the announcer table. Darby gets in the ring and does a tope suicide dive over the ropes and just right off the bat. And these guys weren't wasting time, man. The Sting, Darby Allin, they were kicking ass. Sting's sons were helping out. They brought out tables. By the way, this was a tornado tag match, so obviously no rules. They brought out ladders. Sting brought out glass. Yeah, he brought out glass. Again, chairs, tables. I mean, Sting was going out for this final match. Long story short, there was a point where Sting was ready to smash one of the, I think it was Nick Jackson or Matt Jackson with the bat. And their hand was on the steel steps, right, on the side of the ring. Sting was ready to have the bat, and he was ready to hit it, and he missed. And one of the Young Bucks was laying on the glass that was leaning on the ring. And Sting was ready to get the bat, and he missed. And I guess the glass was supposed to break when Sting hit it, but it didn't. But he decided to say, fuck it, I just shatter it and hit it. But eventually, both teams scrambled into the crowd. Then they made it back on stage. And I believe it was Nick Jackson did, like a power bomb or a package pile driver with Darby Allin off the stage onto a set of tables. And then I believe Matt Jackson did a suplex with Sting off the stage on the tables. I'm like, holy shit. So eventually Sting was, just unconscious, right? Went through a table off the stage. So Darby Allin gets in the ring with the Young Bucks. And eventually there was another glass. And there were maybe set of six chairs, right? Stairs lined up, right? 3 across. And they put the glass in the middle. And there's a tall-ass ladder in the ring. Well, eventually Darby managed to get one of the Young Bucks, I think it was Nick Jackson, on the glass, lay him down, and Darby Allin was ready to do the swanton. Darby Allin does the swanton, but Nick Jackson comes in for the save, pulls Matt Jackson. Darby Allin did the swanton off the ladder, landed on the glass, and shattered everywhere. And that's where 16,000 sold-out people were groaning. But yet better, when they did the close-up of Darby Allin's back, I mean, there were pieces of glass over his back. When the glass came off, there were spots of blood everywhere. And you just hear people, 16,000 of all of them. Holy shit. Insane. Eventually, Sting got unconscious, got in the ring. He climbed up the ladder. Eventually, the Young Bucks powerbombed him through the table. Yet better, they put Sting through another glass. Damn it, Sting. We know this is your final match, but why would you do all of that? Went through a table, went off the stage, went through a glass. Eventually, the ref was, the ref was out in this match, I think. Of course, like always, seemed like this always a hot spot. And I believe Nick or Matt Jackson went down to the timekeeper. By the way, Ric Flair was at ringside, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was at ringside as a guest timekeeper, right? So one of the Young Bucks went to the timekeeper's table, grabbed the title belt, but Ricky the Dragon Ricky the Dragon Steamboat grabbed one of the Young Bucks' arms. You're like, nah, you're not using the title to win and cheat. And they had a little confrontation, and the Young Bucks took out Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'm like, oh, hell no. Eventually, Ric Flair got up. Instead of fighting with the Young Bucks, Ric Flair got in the ring, and he was covering Sting and defending him. Like, don't. Come on, guys. Put the chair down. Put the champion belts down. Don't hurt Sting. He's my friend. And Ric Flair's hovering Sting. And I'm like, don't do it. He's covering Sting's eyes. Like he didn't want him to see all this. And Ric Flair's like, don't guys, don't do it. And the Young Bucks like, okay, we'll just take your ass out. And the Young Bucks wiped out Ric Flair. So now you have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair laid out on the floor. Now the super hot power Sting came out. They gave Sting like 5 BTE triggers, EVP triggers. The Sting kicked out of. They gave Sting a super kick. he kicked out of one. Sting was just superhuman, a Frankenstein, for like the next 10 minutes. Long story short, Sting and Darby Allin. Darby Allin did the coffin drop to the Young Bucks. Sting gave the one last final Scorpion Deathlock. He riled up the crowd. This is it, man. This is the final lap. One more time. And he dropped the Scorpion Death Drop. 1, 2, 3. Sting and Darby Allin retains the AEW World Tag Team Champion. That's it. And just emotional. Emotional. There was 3 minutes left on pay-per-view. Darby Allin cut a promo thanking the crowd, thanking Sting. There were confetti everywhere. Then Sting had the microphone, and he was thanking Greensboro, thanking Ric Flair since 1988, won the big title against his match. And, they knew they were short on time, and eventually his speech got cut off. And the pay-per-view went off air. And a lot of people were pissed. I was pissed off. Like, come on, man. They can do 5-minute overruns on television, but I guess it's a contract, a pay-per-view contract. They can't do overruns. But I hope they put the full speech online, hopefully soon. But that's it, man. Sting's done. It was emotional. It was very emotional. Overall, it was a great, solid pay-per-view. There was no controversy. There was no dark clouds, nothing that's going to throw off the pay-per-view for once. It was a great, solid pay-per-view. So, again, here we are, 41 minutes into this episode, and thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys enjoyed Revolution as I did. Drop it in the comment section. What's your favorite match on the show, of course, as always. And, man, what a show. I'm looking forward to this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. What's the feature for the tag team titles as well. So, stay tuned for my tribute to Sting. I'll be working on that in the coming days or so. I'll kind of go through all my collections and find some Sting action figures and t-shirts. I got more coming in the mail. Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you, Sting. Thank you. And that's the way to end this video. So thank you guys for so much for watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast. Drop it in the comment section down below. And follow me on social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, Into the Square Circle Podcast. And follow me right here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell button. So until next time, my friends, have a great, great week. And happy wrestling.